Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 milliamp hour power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Alright guys, welcome back to Xbox Central, where we dive into all things Xbox. Today, we're taking a trip down memory lane to revisit some of the most infamous Xbox exclusives that just didn't live up to the hype. From over-the-top marketing to clunky AI and uninspired level design, let's talk about what went wrong. First up, we've got Brute Force, which was hyped as the ultimate Halo killer. On paper, it had everything: squad-based tactics, a sci-fi setting, but in practice, it was a mess of poorly executed gameplay and teammates that were dumber than rocks. It sold well at launch, mainly because people were caught up in the hype train, but once Halo 2 came out, it was quickly forgotten. Another one that comes to mind is Blinks. This quirky platformer promised time control and all sorts of innovative mechanics, but what we got was levels that were overly complicated, controls that were frustratingly stiff, and a camera system that fought us every step of the way. Yeah, it had a cool mascot on the box art, but in-game, not so much. Now, let's talk about some games that were actually released by notable developers, like Tao Feng, which was supposed to be a new fighting game with fancy character designs and a limb damage mechanic. Sadly, what we got was hit detection that was wonky, graphics that were just off, and gameplay that felt more like a step back than a step forward. Sudeki, Microsoft's attempt to lure JRPG fans over to Xbox, ended up being an East meets West hybrid that couldn't commit to either style. Visually, it looked decent for the time, but everything else felt half-baked, from combat that tried to be dynamic, but got boring quickly to a story that was barely passable. Now we've got Rare's first game under Microsoft, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, which felt like a weird, awkward filler episode. It featured basic beat-em-up gameplay and a setting that was basically straight out of the late 90s, not in a good way. And yeah, it had some great charm and offbeat humor, but that didn't save it from feeling like a budget title with all the bells and whistles. Last but certainly not least, we've got Advent Rising, which promised an epic sci-fi universe with Orson Scott Card's help. But what we got was brutal bugs, awful performance, and combat that was flashy but unrefined. It's a great example of how promise can sometimes lead to polish-less game design. Some of these games were so bad they're good take whacked. For example, which was supposed to be a quirky party brawler full of chaotic fun and zany characters. But in reality, it felt like Power Stone's less talented cousin, with shallow combat and repetitive minigames that didn't quite add up. Other games were just straight-up forgettable, like DOA, Extreme Beach Volleyball, which was more about selling jiggle physics and bikinis than actually delivering a solid sports game. And then there's Nightcaster, which had a dark fantasy aesthetic and spellcasting combat, but ended up being clunky and frustrating to play. All in all, these games are a reminder that not every Xbox exclusive is a winner. Sometimes it's just hype over substance. If you've got any opinions on some of your favorite or least favorite Xbox exclusives, be sure to hit us up in the comments below.